Rick BOZICH joining me to talk about the increasingly strange and confusing world of college recruiting, specifically the case of Mgbako, a 6'8", five-star recruit from New Jersey who had originally committed to Duke, then reopened his recruitment. U of L and a few others were considered among the leaders. Then he canceled a scheduled trip to Louisville and soon after committed to IU, who hadn't really been in the mix at all, Rick, until recently. How does this happen?
That's what we'd all like to know, really.
That's why I'm asking you.
What I think happened is that Indiana had a great need for a player at that position because they had lost two players in the transfer portal that they thought they were going to get, specifically Chris Ledlum of Harvard. He ended up going to Tennessee. When Mgbako was available, they got in the ring. And once they got into Bloomington on a campus visit, it went really well. And I think three things in their favor. One is that, as he said in his post-commitment interview, Indiana had some great NIL opportunities. Two is Mike Woodson had him, I think, talk to Carmelo Anthony, who played the same position for him in the pros, and told him what a good coach he was. And three, I think he saw that this year, the way he developed Jalen Hood-Schifino and Trace Jackson-Davis, that Mike Woodson was a good coach and a fun guy to play for.
You mentioned NIL first, and that is clearly important, not only for high school recruits, but in the transfer portal. And I guess it depends on the kid, but how big a player has that become now?
I think it's become a really big player. I've had one coach in the SEC who's an assistant coach tell me that they had just a decent prospect came in, and his dad said, what are you thinking? He goes, what do you mean, what am I thinking? He goes, well, about NIL. And he goes, what are you thinking? He goes, I'm thinking $350,000. And this isn't a five-star, so I'm just telling you what a coach told me. It is a big deal. It's legal now. The guy who just went to Kansas was Hunter Dickinson. He was very open about the fact that at Michigan he wasn't making enough money, and at Kansas he will be.
There is still time, obviously. Is U of L done with recruiting? Is IU done with recruiting, or do we know yet?
I think both would like to get another guard. And I know that Louisville fans are upset about Mgbako, but I would remind them of this. A week earlier, they got Trey White from USC, who was also a highly ranked recruit, who averaged nearly 10 points a game at USC last year. And I think he has a chance to be a better player next year because he's a year older and has already played college basketball. So calm down. As I wrote in my column, you're either a hero or a bum, depending on the day of the week. Wait till tomorrow, things might change.
Yeah, you can read more about it on Rick's column right now on WDRB.com, and we will keep trying to follow what is happening. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.